Hello. So I work at the Westchester University Poetry Center.
Yay.
Yeah. And I was actually talking to a gentleman, I think in this very bar one night, and I told him that, and he said, "Dude, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard." So, I mean, I don't think I'm gay, but I've worked there. I've been involved with the Poetry Center for about 10 years, and maybe a little bit more. And when I first started out, I was the graduate assistant. I was a graduate student at the university, and I started there as the graduate assistant at the Poetry Center. And one of the things that, one of the benefits of working there is that every year I get to go to we have a nationally recognized poetry conference, and I get to go there for free every year. One of the waitresses here, Abby, actually worked with me there this year. Yeah, and I get to meet poets and everything, and it was a great thing for me. One of the most exciting things was when I was younger, we went to represent the conference at this big writers conference called AWP, where all these writers and writer programs across the country meet. And it was actually the first time I was on a plane, and they flew me out to Chicago. And we stayed at this fancy hotel, a really nice hotel, probably the nicest hotel I've ever been in. You know, I shared a room with my friend, but we each had our own bathroom, and it was great. And this particular conference, this trip happened to coincide with one of my birthdays. I think, I was younger then. It was about 10 years ago or more, but I was really young enough to know better. This coincided with my 25th birthday or 26th birthday. You know, when on the night of my birthday, it was like the last night of the conference. We started off. I had some drinks with the director in his room. Then we went out to dinner. In his room, we had wine. He's a really wine connoisseur, right? So I'm drinking wine. And then we went out to dinner. I had a few beers. And one of the cool things about AWP is they have like this dance party, and you get free beer and or free wine too. And you stand in this line, and this is why I should have known better. But I was like, hey, I'm gonna make as much use of this free alcohol as possible. So I'm standing in line, and I'm getting like double fisting, and I'm drinking beer and wine, which now I know is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And then it was my birthday, and we went out, and I was with a few other people, and we went out, and everybody had been drinking a lot at that point, and I was already very drunk. And my friend bought shots for everybody. Yeah, it's Luke's birthday. And everybody else, they knew their limits, and they said, I'm good. And I ended up, I'm like, I'll just drink everybody's shots. I don't know what I was thinking. But I was very, very drunk, and I'm like, I acted like an idiot. I embarrassed myself. And I went back to, I kept it together. I went back to this hotel room, of course. I got very sick. Very sick. I was throwing up and everything. I woke up the next morning. I'm still all hungover and sick, and all over this, luxurious hotel room. There's like little purple stains everywhere, from the wine that I'd been drinking. But I figured, I threw up enough. I felt like hell. I'm fine, but it was rough. I had to fly back to Philadelphia that day. And but I'm like, okay, I could do this, and I'm waiting, and there's three of us, me and my friend Colin and Jamie, and we're waiting for the elevator with this older couple, and we get on the elevator, and I felt like I was okay until we got on the elevator, and then I was really feeling awful, and we're going down, and I thought like discreetly like. I just vomited in my hand a little bit, And I look up at my friends, and their face, the look I could, the look of horror on their face, I could still picture it. Luckily, the elderly couple that was in the elevator didn't notice yet until I threw up again. This time it was like, more profusely. They looked quite startled, So we get down to the lobby again, this luxurious lobby, and I'm like, I gotta find a bathroom, and I'm running, and I'm like vomiting as I'm going. I was very sick. And the security guard, this lady, was like, "Oh, sir, I'll get you the staff bathroom and everything." And everyone was like, "No." And she did. And I got in there, and I finished up and everything. And I got out, and she said, "Are you okay, sir?" And I said, "Oh, yes." And she's like, I heard about this stomach flu that was going around. And I said, "Yeah, I guess I got that stomach flu." So, that's the story about my trip to Chicago and the time that I caught the bad stomach bug.
Luke, everybody. Oh, man.